I'm like, hold on, this nigga never calls me Mayawa. Wait, hold on. What up, people? It's your favorite podcast man back with another one. I am Michael Scenario.
And I'm Welcome.
And this is Menisms, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, we are, dressed up a little different today, representing for the Yoruba demons all around the world today because we are celebrating Father's Day. And
Yoruba angels, please. Yoruba angels.
That is the lie they tell you. But as you can see here, happy Father's Day to all the great men out there, to all the great uncles. Big brothers out there, we respect you. We got love for you. We appreciate you. Out there, we are somebody's father, not literally.
Sorry, proceed.
But yes, we hope you all have a great day. Ladies, show some love to your zaddy or your actual father. But make sure you also subscribe to all our audio channels on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, so you can continue to hear us. And yeah, we appreciate having you guys back. Hope you guys have been good. How have you been?
Before you guys forget, also check our newsletters, okay?
Yes.
Check them out, and then you get some updates on whatever's happening at Menisms Podcast.
Mm-hmm. So how have you been?
I've been good. It's Father's Day approaching, and I'm still not a father. No, let's
praise
talk
God.
about this.
Praise God.
Wait,
Praise God.
Hold on. Is it really praise God though?
Yes.
It used to be praise God
Are you
a few
married?
years ago.
Are you married?
Now, wait. So, first of all, we have society that we're battling because society is not praising God for us. They're actually telling you, what do you mean you're not a father?
And congrats to society.
That's society on one side.
Congrats to them.
Now, you personally, how do you feel? Do you feel like I'm not even ready to be a father, so yes, thank God, or I'd have liked it, but my life is still not.
I'm okay. I don't want to be a father until literally I am married, and God blesses us all the time. So
I feel like this is you working back and trying to fight that baby mama
No,
culture. Like, you know what? I've been there, I've seen it, and it's not for me.
I've seen what? I've not been a baby father before.
No, I mean like you've been around.
No,
in America, it's very common.
Even if it was in America, I still wouldn't want a child unless I was married.
Fair enough.
That's the Nigerian. As much as I grew up in America, that's just why would I want a child with somebody I'm not married to? At least I've had all the girlfriends you've had. Where are they today? So imagine there was a child involved now. God forbid. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Baba.
Is there a story you want to share, sir? Is there a story you want to share?
A lot of close cases, but we thank God.
Right.
Is she?
But yeah, big shout out to all the fathers out there. Father's Day is a very special day. That
if you were, but let me ask you a question. If you were a father early, do you think you would have been? Well, nobody knows if they're ready, but if you ended up being a father in your 20s, how do you think you would have?
Okay, because I was about to ask you what is early. So okay,
in your 20s.
What do you mean in my 20s? I'm 26. Anyways, if I was a father in my 20s, honestly, knowing what I know about life now, so I feel like I would have been forced into maturity. I would have been forced into just learning the things on the go, having to be a father on the go. I would definitely have made a lot of mistakes. I would have wanted to have more time to kind of, grasp the concept of fatherhood. I wouldn't have had that time, unfortunately. But I don't think I would have had any regrets because the regrets, I believe, again, I've never been a father, so I can't say it might be different if you actually experience it. But how I see it is, if I'm a father too early, the regrets only come maybe in the first couple of months or the first year. The minute you're actually in the fatherhood and you're embracing the fact that you're loving this look-alike of yours or look-alike of yours.
To say, that's what a lot of
that's
men
what I said. That's why I said
it's very easy to say all this right now. Sounds poetic, but
it does. Exactly.
by the time they hit you with the hospital bill the first time, then Pampers, then
not Pampers.
Don't worry. That's why we say again, respect to all the fathers out there. But before we continue, we got a comment from one of our guests. So shout out to you. Make sure you keep sending your comments and questions in. So I'll read this one.
Okay.
Local young man. Hi Muriwa. Hi Michael. Love the pod. You guys have done wonders to how I see life. I appreciate you guys for that. Thank you. This is not exactly a dilemma. I already know what to do, but seeing as how you guys have touched on it, but haven't exactly given the male perspective, I would like to share my experience so other men like me can learn a thing or two. I'm a 23-year-old medical student who has been in a sort of situationship over the last 2 years. We are besties and colleagues, and are together almost all the time. But the reason we are not in a relationship is quite simple. Even if she doesn't mention it, I see that she follows chiefs, older guys that have shit tons of money around a lot. The types of guys that drive Range Rovers and G-Wagons around Lagos. Now, I make a decent amount of money myself while I study. I freelance on the side. I make around 60 to 200K a month. I work out, I play basketball, and I attract a lot of attention. She basically saw me at an event, approached me, and asked for my number. That's how we met. But because I tried to compete with these guys, she keeps seeing I started to see myself as inadequate. Hold on.
Right.
But because I tried to compete with these guys,
That
because I tried to compete with these guys, she keeps seeing I started to see myself as inadequate. Fam, I love her so much that I went through a lot of self-esteem issues and even became unbearable to my friends. She's 24 and we basically match each other in every way. And she tries to keep me for herself despite wanting to maintain her lifestyle with those other men. She buys me stuff, pays for dates, and even helps me out when I'm struggling financially. But guys, I can't do this anymore. I'm tired of the gymnastics, jealousy, and mental health issues. I don't want to have to compete with the rich guys for one girl's attention, so now I'm moving where I am loved and appreciated. I hope that from your wealth of experience, you guys can shed some light on this and educate other young men on how to go through the emotions when they're in this position. This feels like a Gen Z problem we are too quiet about. Oh, I will let you talk first because I have been through this a lot.
This needs a dramatic entrance into, because I have to. Where is it? Okay. What? Okay, so first of all, my first time experience on this, I felt like I was reading my own story.
Oh yeah, facts.
So first of all, I can relate heavily on the fact that, and this is very normal. This is very normal, unfortunately, in Nigeria. And I say unfortunately because it's not supposed to be normal.
But it is.
Right. So this is very normal around younger guys seeing their age mates who are not seeing
rolling with the older niggas.
There you go. Now, now this one thing we need to understand is that for older guys, it just comes naturally that money is, and this is my theory. Money is the way they communicate love or whatever interest.
Oh, facts.
But my theory is that, and of course this is not just my theory.
Mm-hmm.
These are guys who, when they were younger too, didn't have it that much.
Facts.
And so now,
facts.
It's like payback. I'm going to
all
show
you older
people.
men out there. There's a lot of respect for you doing your things that have gained the respect. But let's be honest, a lot of older niggas in this Lagos didn't have the source of things we have. They can easily say, in your day we used to do this, but you see, you didn't have the facilities or resources to do what we're doing. Was even Uber around in your time?
And so now they have, and you know the thing is, unfortunately, the way Nigeria works is, yes, the young people who have money, right? But there's certain opportunities that won't actually come to you when you're young because you're young.
Mm-hmm.
And so as you get older, you get in your like late 30s, 40s, they start seeing you as, okay, responsible enough. We can give him that big project, contract.
Okay, he can try this one now. He's ready now.
And so those big contracts end up translating to so much money that in a lot of times you don't know what to do with if you don't have a family, for example. Or even if you do have a family and the money is just so much. You're just like, I know some young 23-year-old girls. How much is your school fees paid?
Your school fees only your school fees only 2 million.
Just
What's
take it.
2 million? Take.
I have about 3-4 apartments. You can take one of them. It's okay. Now, these girls also genuinely like the younger guys because we can relate. I mean, let's be realistic. The things you're talking about, showing me trends on TikTok, I can relate with you. We can talk about stuff. We can talk about things that, you went through during school time that I can also relate with that your older guy is oblivious to, right?
Mm-hmm. So
they have this thing where they would like the girl. So they would like the guy, but they still need the sponsorship, which is, I mean, I get it.
Hey man.
So again, from experience,
to the girls that left me because obviously they had to maintain a lifestyle or needed that sponsorship. Look, I forgive you. I forgive you because I'm a mature guy now. You get what I'm saying? I'm making money now, so I get it. Back then, I fine boy that you pass everything. You get.
Fair.
I wasn't broke because at the end of the day, like, and that's why I always tell people, like, when I say I was broke, my definition of broke is every guy understands the definition of broke.
Yeah, I
When you
just don't
didn't
have
have the
loose cash.
facilities you had, like, did I have resources? Yes. Did I have a car? Did I have, I had motion. You get what I'm saying? But I didn't have money to facilitate the things I can do now easily
Fair.
compared to then.
Mm-hmm.
So like the way you said now, like when you get to this age of 30s now, the way some older men are able to provide for these girls, you're at an age that you can actually do the same thing. Now the frequency of how often you can
That's
do
the
it,
one.
that one level, like
Because she's trying to go to Boho every Friday.
is it boho? Is it apartments? That one if you do all that stuff, like, but every week,
every week. But then there's somebody.
we're not there
somewhere-
yet.
There's somebody somewhere that is not even just giving her every week. It's giving her VIP section
There's somebody,
every Friday.
my brother, even better. There's somebody that's paid apartments for 2 years plus. Then on top of that, they've reserved that boho table for the next 3-4 months. That's no matter what. If she
that's
goes
her
to boho,
spot.
all she has to do is say the name. I'm on this table, sir. Oh, don't come in. Ha!
So again, bro. So let's to be frank with you, and like you said, you kind of already know what you're gonna do in this situation, but you can't compete. And honestly, the lack of competition already is a defeated battle. Just pull yourself away from that arrangement.
I
right?
wouldn't even say pull yourself away yet. Do you know why? Because it's going to give you, if I were you,
Character
take the
development.
challenge and build your character from it. Here's what I mean. So for me, no, here's why. So for
Okay.
me, my case was different because, again, I came, even in the times I didn't have money, I was blessed to come from a certain background or have older brothers that were very successful,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I never really missed out. Even 21 to 25-year-old me that was in uni, I still went to the biggest clubs with all my older cousins. I still went to the beaches. I still traveled. You get what I'm saying? Because they were able to support me in that they exposed me to that. So what I'm happy about is I still will go for the girls I wanted. And was it harder? Yes, because at the end of the day, those girls go like me for my personality, my charm, and all that. You too, you've been through it also. But then when it came to like some bigger things that most women, their needs financially,
Just know that you have to step
I'll leave
back.
them to the OGs. But what it did was it sort of prepared me because it's like a lot of guys now, especially in nights, you feel like you only need money to get these babes. You don't. Because the thing is, if you're able to build your character to the point or have an understanding of women that you can get women without money, imagine you with the money. And that's what a lot of guys don't think about. They don't think long term. Like now, this 20-something-year-old guy now, he's going to think, oh, it's only money that can get them. No, bro. Focus on your journey that you're in right now. Bro, you're a medical student doing what you need to do right now. You're in school. Focus on your bag degree because, bro, this life is a long-term game. You forget what you're doing right now is going to make you rich and successful in the next 10 years by God's grace. So imagine if you're able to maintain your composure now, but know how to get babes like the way we did it.
Yep.
Because again, like I said, we were getting most of the stories you hear is when we were not successful the way we are now. Well, let me not speak for you. I don't know.
I was my come up days, man. Literally.
So we were in our come up days when babes really they hit. Now fine boy and charm we they do. But now that money is there, if anything, we're even more calm now because we've done it. You don't want to be like those guys now that they didn't know how to get babes
So they
in their
want to
20s. That
vex
when they
now.
now get money now. Oh yeah, babe, take 1 million. I have seen it I've seen niggas and it's so fucking annoying. I have seen, when you've seen guys that have transferred money to babes that you're like, what the fuck? And it's like, no wonder the game is so bad.
And the thing is, so again, understand our message here is that allow yourself grow and trust the process. Trust
Facts.
trust the process. I believe me when I say that. But don't get into a love relationship with someone that would put you in esteem issues. And I can see that he already mentioned that he had esteem issues, during this relationship he had with this person. So the reason I'm saying pull out of this arrangement is pull out of the arrangement for your mental stability, right? Allow your mind be clear and be able to navigate what it is you're supposed to be doing, which is the medical journey, or if you're trying to pivot to something else, whatever it is, focus on that. Yes, love feels nice, but honestly, now is not the time. Enjoy life and the little experiences that come with it.
Facts.
And you would know when you financially are ready to either date someone.
Baba, let me tell you something. Back then, I did look at all the older OGs. They spend money on these girls. Those same girls, we were still, me and my boys, we still they get them. But I'm telling you, it was even sweeter when I got to this age that I was able to, and I don't know if you've been there. When you really send a girl a big transfer. Not 100K, even 100K too, you'd be like, for what? But you know, he sent a big transfer, like let's say 500 or 1M. To some people now, some guys might say 500, your father. 500 is a lot.
Please, I beg you should calm down.
Like,
Nigerians always think that.
Imagine to give 500K to a random babe is a lot.
Somebody that's
not
not my
your
girlfriend?
babe, a
That's my
random
girlfriend?
babe is a lot. I'm sorry. So when you get to that level that you do it, you appreciate it more because you're like, wait. You start remembering your journey, like, damn.
50K then, I will be struggling.
Nigga!
Now, I'm doing
Baby,
500 easily.
my nigga! First time, let me ask you a quick question before we go into the topic. The first time you sent a girl a big transfer, what was your feeling like? Or why did you do it? And what was your feeling like?
To be honest, I think why I did it was to prove a point to not just her, but myself. I had to be like, yeah, I'm now that person. I'm now that person. So my younger self can be like, can you see? All we have to do was wait a little bit. Just relax and wait. Work. Just keep working in. And I think so you said the why and the what?
The why and the feeling when you did
And
it.
the feeling. So the feeling was honestly, it was very liberating, particularly because it wasn't even about the person. Because I knew it was even someone that I didn't really care for. But one of those
That's what's so fucked up.
one of those.
You always send money to the babe that
you
you're not serious about.
Honestly. And it was one of those. She can just make a comment like, "This is what you always say."
That's the most thing.
Just hold my beer.
Fellas, let me. And again, this advice to the guys and that same guy: don't be the nigga that promises and doesn't deliver. I've been there.
Yeah, of course.
I take accountability. I've been there. Don't be. That's why I said, like, even when it comes to this money thing, if you can't do it, just be honest. Because if anything, it shows the kind of girls that are there for you as a person. Because if she starts doing gra-gra or leaves you alone, that's even better. You understand? But yeah, wow, we can go on again. But my brother, again, enjoy the process. Don't force it, because at the end of the day, your biggest stress should be your school.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Babes in this world, my brother. You're not losing.
Even if it's not school, it should be whatever career direction you're heading towards.
Facts.
If you're looking to just do your own hustle, you have this skill in something and you want to focus on that, focus on it. Because love might be nice, but honestly, early love is a little too early. It's called
Love with
early
no
love
money,
for a
no
reason.
deal.
Exactly. So
Don't let these babes lie to you. Money.
Allow yourself grow. Allow yourself grow.
So again, see, these are the kind of conversations, low-key, that we should have been having with our fathers early. But due to Nigerian culture, for some people are not ready to have these conversations, or too scared to have these conversations, or some fathers even don't like to tell us the truth. They say, go and figure it out.
Yep.
But today, again, Father's Day, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about the men that are in our lives, whether it's your father, whether it's your uncle, whether it's your brother, whether it's just a man that's been in your life. We are celebrating the men that have been impactful to our life, both for men and to the women that watch this podcast. So we're going to do it in 3 different parts when it comes to men. We're going to do different stages of where you saw your father or the men in your life.
Mm-hmm.
So the first segment we're going to do is idolizing. So, for example, when did you start idolizing your father, or are there certain men in your life from early that you idolized that sort of made a big impact in your life?
Okay, so let me go. See, to be honest, I feel like idolization comes with tracking back to what the memories were with that person. Because when I'm 3 years old, how much stuff do I really know? Or when I'm 4, 5, 6, is when you think back on the things you did as a 6-year-old or as a 5-year-old that you really idolize your dad or that figure in your life, either the uncle, that big cousin. And I think for me, my dad. So these were things I found annoying in the time they were happening, but over time I got to actually see that, hey, this guy actually. So one thing my dad did was plug us into sports, like grow the interest in sports, which is just throw you in, and if you like swimming, do swimming. If you like tennis, do tennis. If you like football, do football, basketball. But he would make sure that we had one kind of sports skill. Now, whether you decide to develop that or not is up to you. Now, for me, as much as this seems like a very normal thing, it's really not normal, because for you to arrange that your child gets the proper tutelage in all these sports, you have to do a proper training. There has to be some sort of training school, goes to sort of swimming school or a tennis school or a football school. I mean, you see how a lot of parents now send their kids to like these schools on weekends,
Academies and all
academies
that.
and stuff like that. So when I saw that, honestly, I saw him as this sporty person that I wanted to be like, because he was better at all the things he was introducing us to. So if he was going to introduce us to swimming, he was already a great swimmer.
Fair.
So I had this, I want to be like, I want to swim like him when I'm, when I'm at this age, whatever the case. Same thing with any other kind of sport that he would introduce us to. He was just always several steps ahead. And I'm like, hey, that's my goal. My goal is to be as good as he is. And so I think my idolization for him started around that, because those were the first things that even happened before school, before kindergarten and all that. It was more just do vocations. He goes to, back then it was a Ikoyi club. He goes to Ikoyi club, and I would say that we did grow up a little privileged. So Ikoyi club, okay, come with me. You're going to see everything I'm doing, and you start to grow the interest in it, and then whichever section you decide you want to do, you just go ahead and do it. I think another aspect of idolization, I would say, was also when it came to him. So we're all math people in my house, right? So yeah, we're all like science students. We like the concept of math and all that stuff. So growing up, I would see how he would help me with my homework. I'm just like, man, this guy knows maths. God damn it. And it would just blow my mind. And I'm like, man, I want to be as good in math as this guy's good in math, because I see him settle down. Say, for example, I have an assignment and he's like, I can't figure it out. Whatever he was doing, he would leave it and he would really just like roll his sleeves and buckle up and say, let's solve this, So, and I think for me, those were the 2 points that I really say, okay, these were the idolization moments that I had. And I'm like, yeah, I want to be like this person when I grow up.
So it's like, for me, mine's a bit different, weird. Because I grew up, my parents divorced when I was 4.
Okay.
Yeah, my parents divorced when I was 4. So the earliest memory I have of my dad is when I was 6, 7.
Okay.
Because the funny thing is, I still remember things from when I was under 7, like 4, 5, 6. But then I was in Nigeria at that time. So at that time, I came to Nigeria when I was 4 because my parents had just divorced. So I came to live with my grandma and my grandpa, and then all my other family members, like my uncle, who's basically my dad now.
Okay.
And all. So my grandpa and my uncle were like my first father figures in a way. So my grandpa, recipe, shout out to him, he was like an OG. So he was very like chilled, laid back.
Right.
But you could tell you still don't want to cross this guy.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
you know those
one of those ones, yeah.
Yeah, just be sitting in the house with his beer, overseeing everything. It's like, this is Mr. Fowler's house. You don't want to fuck up anything. You understand? But if he was, and think about my grandpa was a quiet man, but if he liked you, like he'll talk. So me and him used to talk a lot, even though he'll be quiet to everybody. Right. So it was like, there was already like a respect I had for certain men because of him, whereas like, there's certain lines you don't want to cross with certain men. Then same thing from my uncle. My uncle's like the most chilled, laid back guy, but he's the most serious, hardworking man ever. You understand? So it's like same thing with him. You could play around my uncle. He won't disturb you. Shout out Uncle T, and he won't say anything. Now my pops, my first memory came from him when I was like 7. So when I came back to America, because I was in Nigeria from 4 to 6. When my parents were. So when I was 7, I came back to America. So what I'll do is every Thanksgiving, every summer, and every Christmas, I'll go stay with my dad. So that's when the idolization started, because you like, by the time you're 7, you start gaining a consciousness of like yourself. You start understanding things. 7 is like you ask a lot of questions, but you can't remember certain things. So it's like, I remember at 7, by the time I come back, it's like hearing your dad was like this fantasy, like, oh shit, I get to see him. Because you've been in Nigeria for 2 years now. Think about it. So I didn't see my mom was always visiting in Nigeria. So I saw my mom, but I didn't see my dad. So by the time I came back to America, now it was time to go and start visiting my dad, because my mom and I, we lived in Atlanta. Then my dad lived in Denver. So I'll fly to Denver for those holidays. So I remember like even the first holiday, like, the idolization came from like, oh, is this guy I've been hearing about? So this guy I've been hearing about. So already it's just like, oh shit, like, okay, this is him. Then it's like, even the house he had, like my dad always had nice houses in Denver, because in Denver, like, it's weird. There are not a lot of black people in Denver except for like the inner city. So he stayed
Right.
in like the suburbs, like those big houses
Right.
that I'm coming from Atlanta where it's like we have a decent apartment and house, but it's like Denver's like,
It's
oh
like, yeah,
shit.
it's like, yeah, I see what you mean.
This is
It's
nice.
like-
Like this is nice.
No,
Like,
this is
okay,
nice.
like I see, nigga. And then he always had I say this is where it come from, God forbid. But my father, you know, he didn't have different girlfriends, but there are certain periods he had different serious girlfriends.
Right.
All baddies. I said, what kind of like
We see where the inspiration came from now.
I'll tell you, one point he was dating an American actress, funny enough. One yellow bone. This I know it still stays in my head. The first girlfriend I remember he had one serious girlfriend, one yellow bone baddie woman. I forgot her name, but they were serious for a while. And she was like a big actress. That was one.
Big American actress.
Yeah, she was actually in a few movies. I forgot her name though. Like, it's not like obviously Halle Berry or something.
Yeah.
But it was like an American actress that she's been in films and all that. Then I think the second one was one Congolese lady that was very pretty, by the way. Then for the first time, I saw my dad with a white woman.
Ah, okay.
And I was like, won't be me, but I see you, my guy.
I see you,
and then
yeah.
the last one was like one Nigerian lady. So it's like, I think also with the women like I saw him with, it was like it played an impact too. Like,
Right.
oh shit, okay, like this is how I want to be also. But he made an impact also. Like, one thing I respect my dad for is my dad gave me like, when I was a kid, and that's why I'm the way I am today, is he gave me room to be myself. So my dad is not like your typical Nigerian father that'll be saying, hey, don't do this, all that. My dad be like, yo, do your thing and all that. Obviously, don't cross boundaries, because my dad has only actually beat me once, which we'll probably talk about the villainized area. We'll get to that, but
actually, yeah, go on.
But like
this is even my idolizing era. But go on, yeah.
But for me, it's like, again, like my dad gave me a lot of room to be myself, which I idolized him for, because it was like, oh, this guy's Nigerian, but he doesn't act like Nigerian parents. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, my friends will be over, we're all chilled. His own thing is obviously be respectful, but don't cross boundaries. So that's why I sort of get idolization from him. And then also, the funny thing is, the last one point is, it's funny how my job with what I do is sort of related to marketing, but my dad was like a marketing genius, or he is. Because my dad used to actually be, stars.
Are you sure this inspiration to even go into marketing generally was not from him?
So it's not. That's the thing. It's actually not from him. I think it's just natural, because he's been a big marketer. Like, so he used to be, stars
With a Z.
Yeah, the network.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he used to be the vice president of their marketing for like years, for like
damn.
10 years. So what we used to do is every time I'll visit him, he'll take me to the Stars headquarters.
Right.
Then every time I'll come into the office, I'll never forget. Like, by the time they started knowing, like, oh, this is his son, they would always bring a box of VHSs. Jesus, I just showed my age. But, hey, Gen Z.
So it was VHS.
Your father. I'm about to say your father, God forbid.
On Father's Day.
I said that's what I'm saying.
All right, go on.
They used to bring this big box of VHSs of all these different movies that I'll just watch while if I followed him to work or if I went home. So it's like, when I saw how the guy would be moving in marketing, maybe subconsciously it played a part to me. Because like now they do marketing. But yeah, that was my idolization. But let me ask you now, like, to the second point now, is like, that's the idolization of our fathers. When did you start to demonize your father? Because they usually say it's the teenage years when you start getting small mind that if you take this man.
So the funny thing is, demonizing, I didn't exactly demonize him until almost so more like middle of my teenage years, because he was very so my dad is very, what do you want to do? Do what you want to do, right? But here's the tricky part. If you mistakenly, because the thing about teenagers is that we say we want to do one thing, but like halfway through, you're kind of like, I want to do the other thing now. I don't even want to do anything at all. If you mistakenly say you want to do one thing, oh my God in heaven, you would even start wondering, wait, who is doing this? Is it me or you? Because if I told him then that, okay, let's say I want to go into sciences, right? And that's what I want to do for school. And I get to see that certain aspects of the science part are not really working for me. It's not really just vibing with me. He'd be like, I'm not seeing any seriousness in this. What's going on? And I'm just like, hey, my bro, I swear I'm just like 14. What's happening? And which is why I said, it's demonizing, right? But at the same time, we'll get to that where I understand where he was coming from. But in that moment, I was stressed by the fact that, I would always have to come to him with something concrete, right? I would always have to come to him with something showing seriousness, basically, right?
Facts.
And more than anything, as much as my dad was very playful, very chill, he was extremely serious about career. Like, you can't joke with him about career. You can't joke with, what do you mean you don't know what to do? You don't know what you're planning to do in life. He can understand that you may be misguided, but have a particular path and then say, okay, I'm not sure what to do on this path. I hated that era of my dad because anytime you don't get it. You couldn't just holidays. Let's say I'm 14, 15 holidays. What do you mean you're waking up at 9 o'clock? Because normally if you're in school, you're up by like 6, 7, because you need to get ready, stuff like that. The school bus is coming, or you're trying to get to school, the driver's going to take you to school, whatever the case. But it's a holiday. Why are you disturbing me that I'm sleeping till 9? In his mind, it's like, you're not being productive. Your mates are going to summer jobs. I think you need to get a job. I'm just like, bro, what? At what point am I going to live my teenage life? Well, obviously, I see the ripple effects of all of that now and the benefits of that. But that was the period where I was stressed. But I just saw him as, honestly, I love you, Dad, but
I feel you.
So yeah, that was it for me.
I think mine was definitely my teenage years, because the first time the nigga put hands on me, I was shocked. Because my dad never put hands on me except for 2 occasions that at the end of the day I deserved it. But it's like, when somebody has never touched you.
Yes, and so
and
when
my dad is now tall-ish. He's 6'2". Okay. I'm like, fair enough. It skipped me, but it's okay. But I know athleticism still desha. But
there you go.
But the 6'2" skipped me. So I remember the day was where my dad stayed was a very white area, because again it was a very expensive area. So when I'm coming from Atlanta in the South with a whole bunch of black people and Nigerians, and now I'm just with white people. So I was very popular in my neighborhood. So all the kids used to come to my house. So my dad was cool like that. Like, all your boys can come to the house. So we'll play PS2. He's buying us food. Like, we have the backyard and shit. Like, so we're chilling. Then there was one day my friends came over, right? And we're playing football on the front. Then my dad is calling me, Michael. As I said, my father was different too, because the guy called me Michael, literally, like, Michael. And when he was with my wife, it's like, Michael, like, and then he was calling me one time. I'm just like, yo, Dad, just chill, I'm coming, man. Like, Then I remember I heard his tone change, like, Maiwa. I'm like, hold on, this nigga never calls me Maiwa. Wait, hold on,
so
Maiwa. So I look back at.
Is that like maybe my bro does not hear his name?
Maiwa. This one, I said, yo, chill, I'm coming. Guy kept quiet after that. Just went into the house. I kept playing with my friends. Now my friends have gone though. Now it's me to come back into the house. I'll still never forget this day like it's a movie. So I walk into the garage, walk through the back door into the house. As soon as I shut the back door garage, bro, just papa slap, bro, pa! And mind you, I told my dad is 6'2", but that is big. So it was like, pa! So I was on the floor like, so I'm on the floor. Then I feel somebody pick me up from my shirt. Like, this I was like, when someone picked you up like this, but they pick me up from the ground.
Yes,
because again, I'm like 14. I'm like 14, 15. So he just picks me up like that. Then he holds me against the door. If you ever in your life, actually, I remember, he didn't slap me because I was ignoring him. It's my own fault. And Dad, I'm sorry. Now that I realize, he called me. And the thing is, my dad used to let my white friends call him Nigel.
Okay.
I stupidly went to go and do the same thing.
You called him Nigel?
My
like,
nigga.
Nigel, please.
Like, the first time, he called me like
just
that.
like,
The first time he said, man, I'm coming. I was like, yo, like, because one of my friends just said, Nigel, like, we're still playing. He's like, yeah, like, Nigel, I'm coming, man. Yeah.
I'm sure in the back he was like,
and my father doesn't get angry like that. But that day is like, no problem. As soon as I enter, I shut the door, slap on the floor, picked up like this. If you ever in your life call me by my name again, you sure what I'll do at all that? Then he let me go. Bro, I ran to my room. I ran to my room and I had like a big bunk bed because obviously friends were always coming. Bro, I hid under the bunk bed, called my mom, seen Atlanta. Mom, I'm just crying. It's like, what's wrong with you? He hit me. Who's he? My father. So my mom now, and my mom is shocked because my mom is the disciplinarian, obviously. But my mom's I say like, your father hit you, kid. Like, so she's now calling my father, like, did you hit him? Like, so my father had to now come and sit me down, talk to me. From that day, that man had my respect too. I was like, from that day, I'm like, I never want this kind. Okay, and the second time, I villainized him. Well, 3 times I villainized him. That one. Then the second time was the police came to our house.
I'm gonna need it.
Because all my white friends came over one day, right? So they said, let's go doorbell ditching. Ding dong ditching. So doorbell ditching in Yankee, because in Nigeria, you know if you try that one, gates day. So imagine banging the gates and running. You know if you knock the house compound down, like now the gates man you go meet. So we were like, because we're in this rich white area, like, oh, let's go doorbell ditching. I'm like, fuck it. Okay. I'm not going to doorbell ditch, but I'll follow you. Because me, I'm still black. Because for me, I still have like
you're gonna
sense
be the
in
one
my
person
head.
they'll be like,
So
you're the one who did
I'm
it.
the watch look. Now, mind you, we do this at midnight too. So it's pitch black. So we're going to houses, knocking the doors and all that. There's one house we went to, which was like one of the biggest houses. Like, because again, my dad, I told you, he stayed in a rich white area. So the houses were big. So one of the biggest houses, there's one boy we all didn't like in that neighborhood because the guy used to snitch on all of us. So all of us said, we're running this house this night. So they went to the house, they banged the garage, banged the door. Mind you, I'm away from everybody. I know they touch house, they look. Fine. But then when they banged the door, the lights came on quick because I think the father was in the garage. So everybody had to now hide. Now, mind you, it's pitch black. So I'm hiding in bushes that you can't see me. I'm the only black boy. Everybody's hiding. Then eventually we all reconvene at my house. On my next day, I just wake up. 2-3 police officers are in my front door. And they're like, yeah, we're just here. We got a complaint. So it's the 3 police officers and then the people from the house. Now, mind you, the momsy has already not liked me and my popsy because we're black. So she was racist already. So they came to our house of all houses because they heard we were having the sleepover.
Right.
So like, yeah, we heard there was a break-in. We're trying to just figure it out. So me, obviously, on Nigeria, they deny him. No, we went out and all that. They call my other white friends. The boys that were my boys that were loyal. My boy Josh, I still remember Josh and Hunter, they were loyal. They no snitch. They say, yeah, we don't know anything about it. But they now called this my neighbor, Peter. Peter now came. Police said, sir, boy, did you hear anything about it? This nigga just starts crying. I'm so sorry. Like, we didn't mean to. Like,
what?
Like, we just hit the door and then they just came out and all that. So all 3 of us are looking at him like, this fucker. So my dad is now looking at me with hate.
Because I'm a fucking
hate. So, of course, he talks to the police. They settled it because my dad knew how to do that Oyibo stuff very well. Finesses it that they don't press charges. Just give us a lecture and go. Or he tells my white friends, hey, you guys got to go. I'll be talking to your parents later. My nigga, as soon as that guy shut the door on the last friend, I wanted to run. I don't remember where the long hand just came from like this to grab me like this. Just to embarrass me. You know how I've worked to get
Because, I mean, let's be honest. Black guy, white neighborhood.
That's what I'm saying. So you don't think of it at that age, but I'm like, bruh. Yeah. So that was the second time. Then the third time villainizing him was, I think, obviously me and him, we've talked about it down as an adult. We'll talk about the last page. Like, we didn't see each other for a while as teenagers now. Because I think by the time I turned like 15, 16, then there was something that happened that we just stopped seeing for a while. So just like that villainization of like, all right, my nigga, like, I'm here, but we don't see. But then the blessing, like I say, was I had a lot of uncles, older brothers and cousins that never missed that void. So even like my older cousins and all that, like I could actually never villainize those ones because at the end of the day, like, I mean, I could. There are periods I did. Like there's one of my older brothers, like the day... Have you ever villainized? Okay, I don't know about your popsy, but you know you have an uncle or older brother that steals a babe for you and you villainize them.
Steals a babe from you?
Whether directly or indirectly.
Yeah, of course. Bro, you're even going far.
Whether directly or indirectly. You know when an uncle or older brother steals a babe from you that you're like, you fucker.
Well, you know, the whole thing is I've never had it directly happen to me.
Like, oh no, not that they come to you and say,
no,
let me take this game. But you know, like a babe you are running. Then either all of a sudden you see her with him one day, they're like, the fuck? Like, how did this happen? Or he met them through you. And let's say the day they saw you with her or something. It's my friend. All he has to do is meet her one time on the night out.
One time. One time.
So that's the only time I villainized them. But outside of that, nah.
Fair enough.
So, but what? Let me ask you a question now. If your son villainizes you at any point, will you let him be to continue that phase, or will you actually try and address it with him on why you're villainizing me?
So you know the funny thing about being villainized is you don't even know that the person is villainizing you. Because I'm sure your dad or someone was just doing his thing. My dad was doing his thing as a dad. They're not thinking my son is going to hate me for this. They might think he will resent me a little bit. I mean, he's going to be upset because I hit him, of course, like any other child. But see me as a villain, maybe not. They don't really think about it. They don't deep it that much. Yeah.
Possible.
So if my son was going to villainize me, let's say I did something that I kind of had the feeling that, yeah, this thing, my son's going to hate me for this. Like, he's going to see me as a villain for this. Honestly, I'm going to leave it. Character development. So I'd say character development. Like, just growing that. Only thing I will do, though, is if I feel like there may be some misunderstandings as to what the scenario is painting or what message is being sent out, I'll call him to the side and I'll let him know, you do realize, like, all of this was to let you know this. I know he will still hate me. He will still, but as long as I make it clear with words that the message in the actions were to point him in whatever direction or to keep him steady, whether he hates me or not, I would know that I've implanted that, and I think I'll be good from that point.
I think I will. It depends. For my child, I'll have the talks just because it's my child. Like, I'm gonna still fuck you up if I need to, but after, I will always make sure we try and have a conversation about it, no matter the age, because we're stuck together. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, if you're my child, by God's grace, like, we're stuck together. So I would want it to be like, I think like now, for example, like my mom and I are very tight that we can talk about a lot. But obviously when we're growing up, you know, we weren't talking the way we did just because, you know, parents, like in the 2000s, if you're a millennial, your parents didn't really talk to you.
Oh yeah.
Then compared to the way they can talk to us now, they
Not
didn't
at all.
talk to you. It was action and then reaction.
Well, my dad tried. So again, and this is why I said the idolizing part. My dad was not like the average Nigerian dad at all. At all. So again, my dad would only beat you. I think he only beat maybe twice in my entire life.
Same as my dad.
But you see, those times you would know you're the one who.
Yeah, the one. See, I said like I took accountability. Okay, like it was enough. Me. Like my popsy to really, really vex.
Exactly. So I mean, my dad can get angry, but just.
Because when you think about it, moms are more emotion, action based. Like for them,
right then
and there, because they're going off emotion. Your popsy is actually going to sit down and look at it, saying, "Is it worth my stress? Okay, I can talk to him."
Yeah.
Is when you really cross the line that is like, my nigga, you know fuck off.
There you go. Exactly. So I would say that with having the talks, because my dad did have those talks, right? Even back to teenager. But I do agree with you when you say millennials don't get that talk from them. I mean, I was one out of the many because all the other people around me were always like, "What? You're close to your dad?" My dad, I can't even. I mean, it was a very common thing that I would hear around me saying that their dad they can't even like sit in the same space with, you know, stuff like that. So I would say my case is a bit peculiar, but I do agree with you when you say that a lot of millennials didn't get to have that talk with their dad. And so yeah, you're saying that you're gonna have to talk. You're gonna have a talk with your child if it was you.
Oh yeah,
and
because you said you wouldn't, but I said I definitely would, just because like even in that action that happens, yeah, we're gonna give it some time to simmer down. But because again we're in the same house, you're my blood. I would literally tell you, if you don't like me after, but at least there's a point in life you'll appreciate that. Yo, my pops actually came to talk to me about these things, because obviously he's gonna find out outside. Nigerian parents know they talk like that too.
See, you know, Loki.
It's right? When you start hearing about other people's houses that you say, you know, God, thank you for my own. No.
You know, Loki, I feel like. Because I actually do question. I do question why my dad was different. Because he grew up in a typical Nigerian.
So wait, just a quick pivot. So now I'm guessing we're going to go to the humanize
side. Yeah, we go.
So
yeah,
this is the last part.
Now,
so when did you start to humanize your popsy?
Okay, so he. So you know the thing is that he even had a sex talk with me. And he had sex with me when I was 13. But it wasn't even like a heavy conversation about sex. Just a few gems here and there. Just, you know, that kind of make sure you use protection. And I'm like, what's protection? You know, I mean, then my brain was still like easy on whatever was going on.
Facts.
And also in the fact that you don't know, as much as your dad is not the mean parent, you also don't know how far you can go with the familiarity, because you're thinking to yourself that, yeah, my dad is not mean, but how far can I go? Can I really tell him all the girls I'm having crushes on? Because at 13, you're thinking your parents can't understand shit. Like, you guys don't know what the hell I'm doing.
Meanwhile,
Like,
they do.
They do.
It's just like your ignorance as a teenager. Like, you won't understand me.
Exactly.
Okay, they play.
So, and because you don't think they would understand, you have no idea what to bring to them to say, oh, I'm going through this. So my dad will always be very observant, right? And just where he believes. So he's very big on experience things yourself. Have your own philosophy on how to handle things. But where I feel like you may have a bottleneck, I'll come through and I'll just lay a thing or two. So even him having the sex talk was just having sex talk because at that stage of my life, I had this best friend then that I would always go to his house, but he had an older sister. Fine girl, everything. And he would tell me one day that, just be careful with that older sister. I'm like, huh? What do you, I was 13, 14 then. The concept of older girl, you're still like, huh? She's older than me. And I told him, she's older than me. Like, he was like, doesn't mean anything.
They play.
Today, now, I'm like, oh, I see the gems this guy was dropping now. But you see, so now that I retrospect and I just think back on everything that he's laid, as a groundwork for me growing up, it makes sense that this is exactly how I would want to handle fatherhood. Because... Again, and that's the part where I see him as a human being, because this is the same guy now. Me, I'm working my ass off trying to pay bills. Now imagine working your ass off trying to pay bills. You have 3, 4 children. See, you have to kind of now understand that those days when he was shouting, it wasn't you. You were not the problem. There was one bill somewhere that was not adding up, and things were just not sitting right. Because don't forget that back then, all you do is they tell you what to do, you just do it. Okay, we're traveling. Okay, everybody just carry things to travel. There was so much that you would be in the dark on, especially because we're Africans.
Because they don't tell you to.
They don't tell you
even to you're this age.
Yeah, exactly. They don't tell you.
You're like, wait,
nothing.
So wait, this has been going on. Like
There you go. So they don't tell you nothing, and I think one of the parts where I started to really, really humanize him was when he would. Married couples, they would always talk about your mom is doing this. They would always kind of clash. And so when he would say, oh, this is the issue with your mom, this is what's going on, I'm just like, he's giving boyfriend and girlfriend, because what's the difference between what you guys are going through and what me and my girlfriend you don't even know about?
You start to humanize because you realize,
exactly.
So
you start to see that them as a married couple, it's actually just boyfriend and girlfriend that decided to get married.
Facts.
And so they will still have the same boyfriend-girlfriend issues even after marriage. And so, we just saw them as this, they were just born into being a dad, they had no childhood, so later you start to see that, wait, it's a process. This person had a whole childhood, he had interests as well. This is someone who had a picture of how he wanted to be a father, may not have worked out the way he wanted. In fact, if it didn't work out the way he wanted, it adds to his frustration, because he's there like, I would have wanted this instead. Every day, or not every day, obviously I'm exaggerating, but every once in a while, my dad would say, because we all know how to play musical instruments, right? We all know how to play the piano. And then after the piano, each child knows how to play one other instrument. If it's the drums, I know how to play the saxophone, stuff like that. Now, I could see, and even when he says it, I can see that was him trying to live through us, because he saw those opportunities he wished he had, and he's like, yeah, you know what, my children must be able to. And so every day when I play the piano, he keeps saying, man, honestly, this is one instrument that I wish I knew how to play. And as soon as he says that, I immediately see the teenage version of him standing somewhere just looking at somebody else playing the piano and wishing that he could, learn that skill. And I'm like, wait, this is somebody who was a teenager at some point before, he was a youth at some point before. He had his own dreams, had his own aspirations, had his own perception of how life should be. And so when you start to really dip that, you start to really see that, wait, this guy that I keep calling my dad is just another guy who was just navigating life, making mistakes and doing things as it was going. And so many things that he would do that I would question, I would later understand that in my moment too, I probably wouldn't have known what to do. I would have made a mistake in that same situation.
You would have let your experiences teach you.
There you go. And because I've watched him make that mistake, to him, I'm like, what kind of father is this? What are you doing? But whereas he's also back there thinking, maybe I didn't handle that right. You get, but for us we only see that end result part of it.
So
So at
that's
some
it.
point, yeah.
That's similar to me. Whereas like I probably started humanizing. Probably yeah. By the time I turned like this age, to be honest, I'll say it was earlier, but mainly this age, just because like I said, I've already. By the time I navigated my 20s, and it's like, okay, I really did this shit by myself, as in man wise.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, this shit was not easy as hell. It was really just all the experiences I've had to figure it out. Fair. Will I give you a pass on something? Some things, but obviously there's some things I still wouldn't, based off like at the end of the day, you have a choice.
Yeah.
So it's like, but then it's like when I talk to my dad, like in my 30s now, there was a time like recently, like last year or so, we had like a long talk for some weeks that we were just getting to know each other like properly. That he was just like venting about a lot of stuff. It was like, oh shit, I didn't see it from your perspective, because a lot of times with people that come from divorced backgrounds, you're always going to hear your mom's side of the story because that's who raises you.
Yeah.
So the father already is villainized from afar. And I'm not saying he hasn't done his stuff too, but it's like you also need to hear his side of the story no matter what. Yeah. So it's like by the time you now finally hear his side of the story and you put two and two together from your experience and your point of view, you'll be like, oh. And then when you now put yourself in the situation because you're the same gender, that's when you start to even realize more like, from at least one perspective.
Yeah, of course.
You still know the other perspective of your mom's that you're like,
but things are just a lot clearer.
But at least you understand, like, and you can put two and two together to make your decisions that you're like, you know what, fair. I get some things you weren't in control of, and that's what led to these reactions, which is like, okay, I get it. Because I'm at that age. I can't imagine if at this age some women do some shit to me. You're like, hey, I might not have the patience you had, my nigga. Like, you get what? So fair enough. Yeah. I get it. So it's like that's what sort of made me start humanizing also. And then it's like I said, even at this age, to be honest, it's like, I'm at an age where I could easily have my own child right now.
Oh yeah. And
and it's like, if I look at it that way, it's like, am I going to keep looking at things of my past or moving forward? So it's like, things of my past have passed. I can't go back.
Of course.
The only thing I can do is make sure that when I have my child, whether boy or girl, they're going to get the best experiences that they can get possible. And I'm going to go out my way for that. And then that's why I said, like, my difference is I'm going to make sure I have a very personal relationship with my kids that is not your typical Nigerian parenting, where there'll be the foundation of Nigerian parenting.
Course,
like, don't cross the line, my nigga.
Yeah.
Let's understand that.
Yep.
But you can still come to me and talk, because one thing I tell parents now, like even my aunties and uncles, is that you always ask why your kids aren't talking to you and stuff. But it's like, if you already don't create this space for your child to talk to, who do you expect them to talk to?
So, so I have a question based on everything you've just said now. And I mean, also something I was going to ask earlier on. So you see, now that we've talked about humanization and just, almost like we're walking in our father's shoes, so we kind of get the picture of what the life they lived was like. What are the things you would say based on who you know that person as holistically? It could even be your uncle. It could even be, so basically experiences you've accumulated from the father figures in your life. What things would you say, yeah, you know what, this one, I wouldn't change it. I'll do the exact same way this person did. Or this one, I'm not going to roll with this. I'm going to do it in a different way. What are the things that you say?
To be honest, a lot of things actually stem from my pastor, Pastor Akindoju. Shout out to you. That's like our OG in Atlanta. That's who basically raised a lot of my close friends and I that went to the same church, King's Court in Atlanta. So from like 13 until, no, I lie, from 12 until 17, that's basically who raised me as my father, because every weekend I went to his house. His son is one of my best friends even up till now. Toby, shout out to you. So what I respect him for is, when we all came to the church, we all came at the same time. So like, it was like, Toby's younger than me by 1 year. Then there was the rest of the boys. There was Chimdi, Nodabe, Ajibola, Bowe, Mojala, and there's still other niggas I know I'm forgetting off head right now, but shout out to you. But that was our main core of guys. Okay, Chuku. Those were our main core of guys, and we were all the same age, whether a year apart, max 2 years apart. But then what he did was we were like the first teenagers to be in the church properly because they were the older teenagers, but they were just starting to become 16, 17, so it was already late. But he got us at the age like 12, 13 that we were all on the same summer basketball team together, which is like AAU in a way.
Okay.
So we're already each other around the whole year, but summer that we're out of school, we're still together. The only houses we're all allowed to spend the night at is each other's houses, primarily pastor's house.
Fair enough.
Because so what he did was he took a group of boys and like treated us all as his sons, that he basically gave us a foundation that has lasted with a lot of us up till now. And he also opened that communication because it was weird because he's a pastor and a Nigerian. So he still showed his Niger side, though. Don't get it twisted. Pastors are where we respect and fear. But he also was like a real popsy that he let you talk about different things and stuff. Like,
Right.
even when it came to girls and all that, him too, he knows back in his day, Even me also, when we found out back in the day that the guy used to be like, wait, pastor, okay, like, used to be an OG, but it's like, yo, you think he's not human also? So even us too, he'll be able to tell when all of us are feeling girls. He'll talk to us about that shit. He even will know the ones that are womanizers. Even me, from when I was 18, I said, you, man, why you? I know. Because I used to be around him the most. And he always noticed how girls would gravitate to us. But he made sure that there was a way that you could talk to him even if you didn't want to. And then there was also still a respect and fear you had also. Like, there was a respect whereby you could go to him for anything. Like, bro, this guy used to play FIFA and NBA with us every week. Mind you, he's running a church. He's running an I think he was an architect. Is he an architect or engineer? He's one of the two, That was his main profession. He's still running that too. Still running his family. Every weekend, unfailingly, this guy is going to play you in FIFA or NBA. Unfailingly. And it's little things like that you remember. Like, see how this, mind you, as a teenager, I can still tell you vividly what this man did, that it still played an impact that by the time I became on my own in my 20s, it's funny, like the morals and sort of the things that he taught us is what I carried in my 20s, which is why I didn't go overboard with certain things. Because it's like in your 20s, when you're tempted with everything, because you have all that freedom, that's when your background and your morals start coming into play in terms of how you were brought up. So it's like something like that I will never forget from like my pastor, that is like, I'm going to be like, again, like I said, I want to be like that with my kids, that when you're outside, you are thinking of me not just on a fair, respectful level, but you're thinking of, do I want to disappoint this guy? If that makes sense. So that's how I sort of live my life now, where, yeah, I've taken some risks. I'm not perfect, but I've never crossed the overboard line, because outside of my mom, obviously, and my first family, there's men in my life that were like father figures to me, like I can't let down.
Yeah. And honestly, I think a lot of times, even these male figures don't even know the impact they've had on your life. Right?
Oh yeah, they don't know till you tell them.
Yeah, and for example, there are a few things I'll take from my dad and incorporate in my own parenting, which is, see, that's first of all, that African dad thing does not even exist, right? He's still traditional in his own way in certain beliefs, but holistically, he believes in, okay, as long as you figure out what version of life you'd like to navigate through, then just do it. Like, as I was telling you then, that as long as if you tell him this is the direction you want to go, then you must face it. You must face it. So that was one thing that he would definitely like sit on. But it was a breath of fresh air to see that someone allowed you to. You would know then that the responsibility of you not liking what you're doing is based on you, because you had the opportunity to choose, and you chose. It might have been out of lack of knowledge, but you still ended up choosing what you wanted to do. And so him giving us that, leverage, that leisure to be able to do what we wanted to do, allowed my brain to work in a way that, I can really do what I want to do, as opposed to I can only do what society believes is successful, society believes is a good profession to do. Because a lot of people who were engineers and doctors only did it because this is what is expected of me. I'm a lawyer because they said we should be a lawyer, kind of thing. So he didn't really give me that strict boundary, or strict confines to work with. He made sure things were open. Like, you know what, learn this, have a trade in that. And he was always very hands-on. I think that's one thing that I'll say I'll take the most that my kid must be able to do is You see that DIY culture, you must grow it. What do you mean you don't know how to fix certain, small things? You have car issues, you can't bend down and so those things.
I not gonna lie, yo, I took the other route where my uncle showed me, make your money so you can have somebody
Hey,
that.
I'm dead. I'm not. That's fair.
No, but I wish.
there's no wrong
and I
parenting.
wish.
Yeah.
I wish I picked that up
Yeah.
honestly, because like I said, I'm sports in terms of the way I saw my uncles moving and shit.
Yeah,
Hey,
like,
man,
you know what,
I'm
that
getting
looks
that
soft.
money. I'm
That
working
looks
hard
soft.
to get that money into.
Yeah. So for me, I saw things like he would always say, "What do you mean you're going to a mechanic for that? You can't fix that yourself." And then it's worse off if he can show you how to fix it, and then now you're quiet. Now you're just like,
because now you have no choice.
you have no choice.
Now you have no
You
choice.
can't do anything else. So I would say that those things I definitely picked up from him, and I would definitely add into my own version of fatherhood. Also the other sides, things that he did that I definitely will not be adding into my own version of fatherhood,
thanks.
which is he's someone who believes, and I've seen myself take a bit of that as well, and I'm trying to detach from that, which is he believes that not that he's the smartest person there is, but he believes that his version of how he has experienced life, right, and how he has navigated solving those issues is the ideal way to solve them.
Fair.
Let me give you a simple example of, let's say, his dating life, right? And in his dating life, he has seen that certain women, if you do too much, they end up showing something. If you do not enough, they end up showing a certain version of themselves. He has now seen that, okay, his solution to that is not do too much. Let him just do little. When he believes that solution worked, he would now impose that on me. He's seeing me do too much. He's not telling me, no. You see, for women, you don't do too much.
I don't listen. I don't take relationship advice fully, because I take small bits, but I don't take fully from adults, because you've had your experiences.
And you were young.
I'll take it too. But it doesn't mean your way is right.
Yep. And he believes that his ways, and even down to like the way he sees how you should navigate life. If he believes that, or if his belief is that, you must go to school before you succeed, him saying that you didn't go to school or you don't want to go to school is something he can never wrap his head around.
No, I don't blame him.
No, and I'm saying that the concept of the school thing obviously makes sense, but I'm saying that you look at our era today now. There are people.
I don't blame him.
There are people who don't. I don't blame him either.
Baba, for me to go to school and say I get MSc, wallahi, my child don't get excuse. If I can do it, me that I know, guy, they told my mother he will not graduate. Before that, they told my mother he will not make it to uni. And me myself, I did not think I get MSc. You don't have any excuse.
Yeah, but I agree with that. But the direction I'm even going in is where the times are changing, which means that school becomes obsolete at some point. You see content creators making way more money than the people who invested so much in school,
But
right?
they have a
But
foundational
they do.
school.
And now, I'm the kind of person who, as long as I see that thing you're working on, you actually are putting your all in it, at some point I'll take you to the foundational school, which is maybe high school. University, if I see that I'm forcing you, but at the same time, my money is burning in that university. At some point, I'm going to
you go do your content creation as you get your degree.
So that's the Nigerian side of it. So for me, I won't add that.
I'm coming to graduate. I'm selfish. I'm coming to graduation. Yes, yes.
So, and I think that's something that he has added in several aspects of us, of even I as an adult now.
Fair.
Dealing with him, I still see him try to impose how he believes should be the best way to handle certain things. And because now I'm an adult, I would argue with him and say, your way is good for you, but I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. So I would say that, yes, there are definitely some things I would take, but there's some things I would also leave behind, which is, I think I'll give my child a larger listening ear.
I like that.
He would listen, but he would listen with his own solution already in the chamber, ready to pop out. Whereas, listen and understand what my own solution is, and
give me advice.
And give me advice
to me, not
there
to
you go.
you.
In fact, your advice could even be based on your experiences, and let me know explicitly that, hey, while I'm giving you this advice, this is my experience. This is how I lived it in my time. It might be different for you. So if you want to take some things from what I've experienced, go right ahead. But don't do it the way I did it. You don't have to do it. That's the difference I want to make. letting them know you don't have to do it the way I did it, but I'm letting you know how I did it and why I did it this way, how things worked back then. If you see a few things you want to take from that, hey, oh well, I'm
Same.
good.
That's a same thing. I'll give my child at least examples because I've had a lot of experiences, but I don't know everything. So I'll give you my experiences. You try yours, but at least communicate with me. But again, shout out to all you fathers. Again, happy Father's Day. This episode is for you. Shout out to all the men that are stepping up, taking the father roles. Even if you are not a father, we appreciate you. And ladies, show some love to your fathers or the zaddy in your life.
Even if you're a father by mistake, we still appreciate you.
Huh?
Okay,
By mistake?
there's by mistake. You did not hear by mistake, father.
No.
What? You woke up Father's Day, you didn't know you were a father, and somebody got a message and said, "Oh, hi, happy Father's Day, daddy." So we still appreciate you by mistake if you were a father
Happy
accidentally.
Father's Day.
But
But
happy Father's Day to
make sure you
everyone.
subscribe to all our audio channels on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, and also to our newsletter for more information. And we will see you next time on Menisms. I'm Michael Scenario.
And I'm Moral Kunkwaya.
And we'll see you next time on Menisms.